Lake Baikal groans as a woman in her birth pangs. The conflict now unleashed upon it is ripe to change the mortal realms forevermore. The Arcanum Venatores are united for the first time since the War of the Burning Winter broke out. Their names are Kip Halbar, Gold Wizard and Transmuter Unparalleled, the Zack brothers, Ankar and Tante, Mighty Bright and Jade Wizards respectively, Ankamarth Heartbreaker, the ruthless commander of the Doomring's Darkling Coven, Sarai Oakheart, Knight Incantor of the Hallowed Knight and unmatched in knowledge of the lore of Azir, and their leader is Valash Kal, the loathsome and aloof Amethyst Wizard. Through the sky they ride upon magic discs, which move with but a thought, having left their forces to hold key positions upon the frozen lake surface, so that rituals that will contribute to the undoing of the Nemesis may incubate undisturbed. The wizards fly now against another threat to their interest and those of the expedition. The great Shaggoth, Storm King, is awake. The vile wretched unleashed the gargantuan creature in a bid for supremacy. The sextet assembled has seen many things in their time, but nothing could prepare them for the enormity of the beast they flew to fight. They lighted upon a hill overlooking the old turnip patches and beheld it, Storm King, tower to the heavens, his roar echoing like thunder. As it strode across the landscape, explosions detonated, marking the work of General Schmidt. Skirmishes abounded as expedition forces clashed with the wretched, seeking to separate them from the behemoth they summoned. The Stormcast, led by Lord Castellan Avren, held a defensive wall around Mulyeni proper, attempting to stymie the destruction heading for the town that moment. Mages hurled magic from key points. Having taken in the scene, Valash Kal flourished his staff and strode to the edge of the cliff. Our hour is near, my companions. Our allies send their binding magics upon the Storm King. And now, quit stalling, Kal. We know what we gotta do. Very well, Ankar. Everyone, gather, and we shall begin coalescing the power of the diadem. The diadem of which Kal spoke was taken from the old Dunsk storm vault, the sigils in the room, and its entry within the Book of Nura, conveying how it was bequeathed to champions of the god as a conduit to defend her sacred places. Before this, the mages had performed a ritual at the site of the wreck of the Etmund, and consulted with local shamans of the Cult of the Mariner on the nature of the book. When certain incantations were spoken aloud, it was said the power given to it by Nura would cause the speaker to work the lake to his will to punish those who threatened the faithful. Now 5 stood at each point on a pentagon, marked with Hallowheart's magic chalk. In the center stood Kal, the Book of Nura in his right hand, open to the particular pages from which the incantation would come. Kal stamped his staff 6 times. Begin the incantation. Our high magic will need to be potent indeed to defeat the foe before us. In succession, they began their chant. First, Ankamarth Heartbreaker laid the foundations.
Await! Azir and Earth, motions of the gloaming realms of shadow and light, I call upon you. Lend me your aid, send your winds flowing into me!
She struck her staff upon the ground and began to glow. Second, Tante Zack strengthened the base. Winds of life, winds of the beasts, let me be your conduit. I summon you to flow through me to the perpetuation of the circle. He too struck his staff upon the ground and began to glow with a green and amber light. Kip Halbar took up the chant. Winds of Chamon, hear my commands. I bid thee blow through my being. Fill me with the power to fill the cracks of the foundation before me. May I be a shield of iron none can dispel. His part done, Halbar struck the ground with his staff and began glowing with a golden light. Ankar Zack spoke his words. Action winds, fill me with your power. May I burn away the dross of the spell, making it pure and complete. As he struck the ground with his staff and glowed in red fire, Sarai Oakheart finished the charm.
God King Sigmar, Lord of Azir, fill me with your tempest. Let the celestial winds fill me with might to energize the power of these mages here. Let your enemies tremble at our faith!
She struck the ground and lightning cracked about. Valash Kal took up the chant, bringing their words to crescendo. Amethyst winds, carriers of death, whisper to the spirit of Nura, the faith of the old, the faith of those who sail Lake Baikal in pious reverence. The words he committed to memory rose in his mind as Karl gave them voice. Each syllable matched the sickly red glow of every word written in blood within the book. I name you Storm King Shaggoth, enemy of Nura, and great agent of works against her people. May your soul be ripped from your body and devoted to the god of this underworld. At that moment, the opal within the diadem that Karl wore upon his brow glowed brilliantly. The light and power surrounding the other 5 wizards entered into it and filled it. A second passed before the power was directed in a beam of all winds of magic towards the Shaggoth with a howling cry. It was so loud that none of the mages close to Karl heard him speak under his breath. Storm King, with this spell I will seize your soul and make you my slave.